Number one then, and number one now.
You're listening to Heffron and Reep.
Heffron and Reep.
Rated number one podcast by the World Podcasting Federation and the Podcast Ranking Association. No, for reals. It says it right here.
John Heffron and Jon Reep. First off, we want to thank everybody who came out to the McLaren Theater of Performing Arts. It was amazing. We got 2,000 people in and out of that place. Sorry we couldn't sign everybody's stuff, but me and John both had early flights to catch. But I'd like to thank all the staff that showed up. It was a short staff, but we did it. 2,000 people strong. Announcements for other Heffron and Reep theater shows coming up soon. But that one was a great one, wasn't it, John? It was beautiful.
Great crowd, all new stuff. I can't believe it worked. You know, a lot of times when you do new material, I'm always worried, is it workshopped enough for this big crowd?
Yeah.
You know, I like to try new stuff in smaller rooms, but all that new stuff, I mean, I couldn't be happier. Great crowd, great material. You did great. Can't believe.
I know.
I can't believe.
That was good. The lady in the front, though, I thought we were going to have a little bit of difficulties, but it was. And it was also appreciative afterwards how many people came up to us after the show and just said, thank you for not having shitty merch. Like they go to a lot of other comedians' stuff that just sell really bad T-shirts and just bad merch. And the fact that we didn't have any, people were actually appreciative that we weren't.
I had a couple of people say stuff like, you know what, we need guys like you right now. There's too many other, I don't even know if they want to say comedians, other people who are doing this who are not getting laughs, and they're trying to just drive home a point without laughs. And they're like, we needed laughs. So thank you for providing laughter at least every 30 seconds to 45 seconds to a minute.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. Hopefully other people will get to experience it. I got a lot of things.
Where's your next show? I know you got another one without me. Where's your next one?
My next one would be, I just might have figured this out today. There is a new comedy club up in Traverse City, Michigan. It's kind of towards the top. It's a really rich town, very touristy, real nice homes. It's where everybody goes. They open a comedy club, and I am going to be there just for this wine tasting in the middle of the week. So I've been reaching out to them saying, hey, when are you going to have Heffron and Reep up there? And then I just said, oh, by the way, I'm up here this Thursday. You should have a special show where it's me. Thus paying for all my hotels leading up to it because I'll make the money back.
Right.
Why not? It's a hustle economy. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
I got a gift.
It's not like you're ripping people off.
Yeah, they'll go, and then I'll meet them. And then what I'll do is I'll then push our stuff after winter because you don't want to be up there in the winter because it's going to be brutal.
Yeah,
unless we take snowmobiles up there. So maybe in the spring. So I'm doing that for you. Also, I'm dressed like this.
I was going to bring it up. I was going to say I have questions. Jon Heffron, for those of you who are only listening to this podcast, number one, thank you for that. We're on Apple, Spotify, Pandora, anywhere you get a podcast, we're that. And you want to write some new review that we could use some new iTunes or Apple podcast reviews, do that. We'll give you a shout out. But if you're only doing that, you can't see what I'm seeing. If you did want to see it, you go to Facebook or YouTube. But here's what's happening. Jon Heffron is wearing a bicycle helmet and what looks to be like a Charlie Brown T-shirt.
Yeah, can we get rid of the middle picture for just 1 second? We've been staring around Superman kissing.
Oh, I don't see that. I don't see that.
You don't see that?
No.
Oh, I see.
I just see it's just me and you. I'm not sure what you're looking at.
Oh, I see Superman with a gentleman in
well, that's not
hair.
Superman. That is Superman's son.
Well, Superman's son is he's kissing another fella.
Yeah.
And that's what I see in the middle of my screen, unless that's just an illusion.
Yeah. That's what's happening. The new Superman, the son of Clark Kent and Lois Lane, is concerned about the environment. He does not shy away from politics and will soon begin a romantic relationship with a male friend. So, that's the new Superman, the son of the original.
Well, on my end, then I'm just going to stare at him kissing the whole time because I can see half of your face and both of these gentlemen kind of.
I don't know what that is. Let's get the Alan Jackson up in here, see if he can answer some questions, because I'm not seeing what you're seeing.
No, I'm not sure why, John Heffron, you're still seeing that. We have that loaded up to show later in the show,
right in the middle. Smack dab in the middle.
So now he's covering up Jon Reep for you.
Yes.
You're not seeing Jon Reep. You're seeing Superman kissing.
I see Superman kissing, and then I see you. I don't know. John is now going behind.
That is really interesting.
Yeah, I don't know what that is, because we're using a new service. A lot of times we were using StreamYard. Now we're using Studio Restream.
But John Heffron, do me a favor, and I know this makes for exciting audio podcast material, but maybe click on the turn off your camera button just for a second and then turn it right back on. I just want to see, for whatever reason, you're still seeing that image and nobody else is. So
default.
This is fun technical support. So
default audio advanced settings. I don't know where it's not giving me an option to just turn off my camera. Oh no, that's the side camera. That's a horrible.
Whoa,
dude, what happened?
Camera.
Oh, side camera, yeah.
There's the front camera. You still seeing Superman though?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, weird. That's weird.
Fine.
Well, is it something that? Should we start over?
No.
Or do you want to
just leave it? It's just a third. John, you got to jump on the other side and.
All right. I tell you what. I'm gonna do one quick thing. Let me play the little electric logo thing, just a few seconds of it, and see if that clears anything up. Okay.
I'm gonna hop patiently waiting.
Yeah.
Let's check out. Let's see if this will refresh your. Interesting that our eyes are black in that logo. All right, John, anything different?
No. I see them kissing. They went away for a second right before, but I see them on my end.
Right. I don't.
All right, so let me try this. Okay. I'm actually going to put it up on the screen.
Okay.
And then take it away.
There you go.
All right. Let's see if that clears it up. All right. So here we go. I'm now putting it on the screen. Jon Reep, you should now see it.
There it is. I see it now. It's right in the middle, and it's covering me up. So now I just see Alan and John Heffron.
All right. Now I'm going to take it away.
There we go.
Is it gone?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, wow. Very good.
My work here is done.
Nice problem solving, guys. No one got mad. We walked through it.
Oh.
That was wonderful. Now, let's get back to the point at hand. Why are you wearing the bicycle helmet and the Charlie Brown T-shirt?
Okay. I am going out for Halloween. Man, I look tired. I'm going out for Halloween this year. And my costume is being sent from all over. And so far, this is all I got. But I'm not going to tell you who I am. There's other pieces of this that are really going to lock it in together.
Is the shirt part of it?
Yeah, the shirt was a detail that I really wanted to get.
I know that's not a shirt that you would normally wear, so that's why I brought it up. Can I take a swing at this right now? I mean, the odds of me getting it right are astronomical, but I can give it a shot.
Okay.
Now, I'll ask some yes or no questions, maybe. Is it from a movie?
No.
All right, I'm out. I was going to say it's the kid who wants his $2 from Better Off Dead.
It's going to be a tough one. Okay. I feel tomorrow is Tuesday. That's when.
No, tomorrow's Thursday. Today's Wednesday.
Yes. What? Oh, yeah. So I feel I'll get my jacket soon. That'll lock it in.
Jacket is part of it. Jacket and the shirt and the bicycle helmet. So it's not from a movie.
Not from a movie.
Is this a comic book character now that we're talking about comic books?
Nope. It's going to be good, though. It's going to be good.
Is it something scary?
No. Nope. Just a good.
Is it from a TV show?
Yes, from a TV show.
Is it a children's TV show?
No.
Got it.
Although it's about kids.
It's about kids, not a movie, TV show about kids. Netflix is it on Netflix?
Yes.
Aha. I think I know what it might be, even though I don't watch the show. I watched the first season and stopped. Stranger Things.
Nope. And that's your last guess until the next
all right, fine.
Comes.
That's fine. Good. I think I did. That was good.
Well, kind of feels like it. I feel very 70s-y in this shirt.
It's not a good look, not just for you, but anybody really. I don't know why. It's from the 70s. That's like a 70s look.
Yeah. It's kind of, or Bernie and Ert. Like,
yeah. Bert and Ernie-ish. It's also like the colors aren't great.
Right.
I never liked it when the ring around the collar is different color than the rest of the shirt. Like there was a time where that was kind of neat, but I've never really liked that 100%.
Right.
I'm talking about, yeah.
What?
Was your? Oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to say we talked about our little theater we did, and then you hustled off, and then did your own thing. Packed in the weeks. That's what's happening now. That all these big theaters.
Yeah, I was in Raleigh, North Carolina, performing at Good Nights with your buddy Matt Bergman and Brent Blakeney. And lots of crazy things happened. One specific thing I want to talk about on this show happened. I want to like to see how you would handle such a thing. Late Show Friday, of course.
I already have a problem with it. Yeah.
Yeah. There was probably a half full, right? And they're all sort of crammed in the middle. There's a guy sitting in the middle front, and he's wearing a leather jacket. He's wearing sunglasses. I'm talking sunglasses, dark. And he's wearing a newspaper boy, Irish-looking hat that kind of smashed down the bill. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, like the Pinky Blinders-y type thing. Okay.
Yeah, but it's black and it's leather as well. He looks like a Blues Brother. Okay. Each comedian comes off stage, comes back and go, how was it? He goes, there's one guy just making noises and just talking sometimes. I'm
right.
Like, okay. All right. Let me see what this is about. I get up there and he starts in, finishes, like throws out the punchline before I get to it. I'm doing a bit. He just goes, bam, says it before I get there. Right. I'm like, okay, well, I'm just going to ignore that because I don't think everybody heard it. I heard it. And it kept going and it kept, he wasn't trying to be, I found out later that he wasn't trying to be mean. He just hadn't been to an event like this and was so excited, enthusiastic that he couldn't keep his mouth shut. And he's probably drunk. And apparently I had talked to this guy before on Facebook. Now, I would like to look right into the camera and say, I'm one of these comedians that will respond to people on Facebook randomly. I don't memorize your name. I do it to a lot of people. And there's a 98% chance I will never never remember that I had this conversation. So when you come to a show and you go, remember we said, and I'm like, if I go, yeah, I'm lying to you. I really don't remember a lot of it. Okay. Anyway, this guy stood up.
Which a lot of people don't know. Anytime me and you do shows together, anytime I see Jon Reep, I walk in and I go, hello, Mr. Reep, my name is John Heffron. We've worked with each other before. And then Reep goes, oh, where? And I go, well, we have a podcast called Heffron and Reep that we do once a week. And then we've also done these shows. And then he just politely goes, oh, yeah, how are those going for you? And then I say, but that's just, so don't take it personally. That's how John
I do that even when I go home and my mom is in the house. I'm like, who are you again? Yeah. You know, I just do this to everybody. I have a short attention, what do you call it? Memory loss. Anyway, so at some point, and it's been a minute, like I've been sober for the last 11 days. Usually for my solution to handling a late show Friday, which is usually the rowdiest one, is I match their level of intoxication. But I wasn't doing that. I'm not doing it at all this month. So I had to handle this without any booze in my system, and which is a new thing. And then I went, so I said, all right, let me deal with this guy. I was like, let me see this guy. Who's saying that? And I said, let me look at you, buddy. Stand up. You look like a blues brother. And he's like, yeah, I'm so-and-so. And he was talking about his band and his wife, or he just got married. They're on their honeymoon. And he's talking about this long conversation about how he talked about, he made this special trip to come see me. And he wants to book me in some trailer parks, like he books things or something.
It's always good to talk about that while you're on stage.
Yeah. He's trying to get into the job part of it. And I'm like, oh yeah. Okay. Well, and he goes, well, let me get a picture. I want to take a picture, man. I'm like, well, I normally do that after the show. So I ended up kind of handling with it a little bit. And I said, well, I'll let you take a picture of me if I can borrow the glasses and the hat. And so I put the hat and glasses on and I took a picture. I tried to make it fun and light, but I eventually had to tell him to shut up and stop talking, you know?
Yeah.
Now here's where it gets crazy. On Thursday night, a bouncer came up to me and he introduced himself. He said, if there's any problems, let me know. Yeah. And I said, well, I do have a code word. And I said, and I've only used this code word 4 times and it's 25 years. So it's most likely not going to happen. But if I offer to buy someone a glass of water, that means I have tried to do everything I can to deal with this person. It's not working. And now you have to kick them out.
Right.
That's the code word. And so I'm trying this stuff. It's not working. And he kind of scared me a little bit because he was getting close to the stage.
Yeah.
And I couldn't tell if he was being passive aggressive. Ha ha ha, you know? And so I said, all right, well, just sit back down. I got 30 more minutes to do. If you don't mind just being quiet or something like that. And I said, you know what? Let me get this guy a drink. I said, let me get this guy a glass of water. And then thinking, okay, here we go. You're out of here,
exactly.
dude.
Yeah.
And of course, because it was the second show Friday, that bouncer had already been, cut. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it fell upon deaf ears. And the guy remained for another 30 minutes. And when the show was over, I just went back to the green room and I'm like, I'm not going out there. I just don't want to. Right. And here's the crazy part. The guy thinks we're still cool. Like he has posted on Facebook, like, oh, my buddy, good to see my buddy. And like posting pictures of me wearing his hat. And he's talking like it's a good experience where maybe I'm good at making it seem that way, but I hated every second of it. Thoughts?
Yeah. And so did everybody who was in the show, unless you were ripping on him the whole time. So people like to hear that. People, if you would have went after him and called him this, and this, and got really mean. Yeah. People like that. People don't get, when I was in San Francisco, I had this woman was, after everything I say, she would go, fuck that, was her comeback.
Right.
I said something like, hey, I was home during COVID and I thought about going back to school to get my master's. And then I just have a joke about buying school supplies. Just something dumb. She's like, fuck that. Like, so that was just the level of her intelligence. Everything was fuck that. Right. So I do a move, and I can't even show you here, where as I'm talking, and I talk pretty fast and move around, I'm going to over exaggerate it so you can see. I'll take my hand and go, blah, 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 blah. I'll stand by the person and do the patting thing, like, quiet. You need to be quiet. It's very kindergarten or first grader. Mm-hmm. But everybody gets exactly what I'm doing. When I put my hand to stop and I dismiss you by quiet, everybody in the show sees what I'm doing. So if they keep talking, now I've kind of made them a bad guy.
Yeah. And you've acknowledged it, but you haven't gone off on it.
And clubs don't care. Like, that place, we talked to her, and then finally the door guy or something came, but if it's a small room and there's not a lot of people, it makes a big thing. Now everyone's listening to the door guy talk to. Yeah. And this, what happened to me is I had this like Italian stockbroker guy who I was kind of making fun of, but he was cool about it. He weighed 300 pounds and his wife was a little chatty, but they were only chatty if I talked to them. Yeah. Chatty McCarthy, the lady who wouldn't shut up, she had a younger Latino boyfriend who now I can felt his chest just getting puffier and puffier every time I told her to be quiet. And they were with a guy, and he moved his seat to be closer to the big Italian guy. Right. So I'm on stage so I'm literally doing my act. And then there was another girl in the front row who had huge eyes, and she kept just staring over at what was going on there. So I just kept looking at her eyes. And if they got really big, I was using her as a gauge. Yeah.
Because you could see
that these people were going to pop off, because then the guy's wife started pushing the girl who was talking and doing like a light push, going, shut up, but physically putting hands on her. Okay. Right. So you just know this isn't going to go well. Right. So, yeah. And then I kind of had to talk.
I've seen you do this before when we were doing our stuff in Detroit or in Michigan. Yeah. And it's a smart move. It's subliminal. It lets the people know I am trying to deal with this. You see me sort of put it out without having to stop what you're doing and stay in the moment. Maybe you're in a groove and you're killing and it's going great, and you don't want to stop because it will bring the bit to a stop. So all you do is put your hand, and that's a smart move. Separate show, there was people talking on the front row. It was a drunk lady and a dude who I think the guy may have known who I was, but maybe she didn't. Anyway, she was drunk, kind of chatty. And once I got the light at 45 minutes, I thought, now I got to go here because I have dealt with this for 45 minutes, doing small things where I will get louder when they do, Yeah. And then I'll stand right in front of them and do my bit right in front of them, not even look at them, but I'm standing right in front of them. You know what I mean? Yeah. And there's one joke where I talk about for people not to blow dry their butt in the men's locker rooms. Right. And I talk about a guy who did that, and I say, you're blowing ass air all over the room. And I do this with my hands. And as I'm doing that bit, I am literally like this close to hitting their faces. I'm going, you're blowing ass. And let's try to get their attention. Like, stop. I'm right here. How can you ignore this? And at one point I love doing this too, is when you sort of stop talking and you just look at them. Right. So now there's no noise that's drowning out their conversation. Yeah. And I just look and I wait for them to look at me and I go, oh, hi, I'm sorry. Did I interrupt you? Yeah. Yeah. And then I do that move. Usually that works pretty good. And it kind of did. I do the talk really loud,
move, and then I bring it down to here, and I'll talk just this low, and I'll do my next bit this low, and all it does is amplify the person talking. It makes them seem louder. And then I a couple times it's boring just to go, you need to shut up, because fuck you, you're not even, all those things that are coming.
Right.
So if somebody's really jabbing at me or just talking out of turn or co-signing on every bit, I'll go, listen, I do my act thousands of times a year, but I'm sensing somebody's reaching out for help right now. Is there a reason in your life that you're not being heard? What do you need to tell maybe the person you're with who is not paying attention to you? Because this isn't a normal adult thing. You're in pain. You're reaching out. You don't know how just to be quiet and listen because you have something to say or something. What is he doing to you? That is and I'll just throw it on. I'll psychoanalyze and I'll just throw it that those two are in and then a lot of times it gets really dark. Yeah. But I'll just get the two couples to just start fighting each other. Right. I'm like, is it because I feel you're not being heard? Is it because is he with another woman and he's not admitting to it, and that's why you feel right? You just put statistically speaking, 75% chance the guy's with another woman. Yeah. So you just throw that out and just go, okay, you guys can walk, or I'm going to keep bringing this up.
What's great is for after 25 plus years of us doing this all over the country, many, many times, we're pretty good at sizing up people instantly. Now that's called prejudging. Yeah. And we're pretty good at it though. Like I'm wrong maybe 10% of the time.
Yeah, you can tell. I can tell the couples, especially if you're doing relationship material, you can see the couples that are healthy by how they touch each other and point at each other like, oh my God, that's you. That's so you. We do that. And then you see the ones that are just arms crossed, just not even into it.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Maybe, or the guys being loud and the girls embarrassed and shy and not vocal, or the opposite of that's happening. That's like someone's in charge of that relationship. Another person's just going along for the ride. They're not really that happy. Like there's so many things that you can find, you can see. It's like obvious sometimes real quick on stage, they don't think we can see. Yeah. All right, let's move on to something else. What do you say? Something happier. How was your weekend?
My weekend was uneventful. I think I mowed the lawn, got excited, tried to do some house stuff. It's fall, so I'm getting excited about that.
Yeah, I love fall. I bet your place looks awesome right now with fall, the leaves changing colors all around you.
Leaves are changing colors. I think I've killed the last of the moles, and I'm hoping moles go away. I bought a disco light for my basement where it's a disco light that shoots a dance floor onto the floor, and you can make a square. So that's definitely the dance floor where the square is. And then it shoots stuff all over the walls. Nice. So I can totally have we were down there. And then about 5 minutes in, we both felt very strokey, like we're about to have seizures. Yeah. Because of all the flickering lights.
That's cool, though, that you got that in your house.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see. I got to come back and visit.
Oh, yeah. We're making the whole downstairs area is this cool bar now, and it's just kind of getting some work. I have in November, I'm back at the Comedy Castle. Those will sell out the 11th through 13th. Then Helium in Philly, the 18th through 20th. Maybe the Traverse City place, October 28th. But I'm also getting to a thing where you want work and you want to go off and perform. But then I'm just becoming more and more of a homebody.
Yeah, it's easy to fall into it and just be like, oh, can I just get the same amount of money and just stay here?
Yeah, or even less, but it's an hour drive and you're home. That's why I don't know, like even doing those, late show Fridays. I don't know if they should be a thing. I know. Literally, I know the clubs make money that way, but that's why doing theaters are nice because it's just one show. I think second, 10:30 show Friday is a young man's game.
Yeah, definitely a young man or someone who's willing to get drunk with the crowd, which is not me in October. But I feel like I'm going into the worst spot when I go to Jacksonville, Florida this coming weekend. I mean, that is a drunk show room. You know what I mean? Yeah,
that's dude.
Jacksonville, Florida. I'm going to be there Thursday, Friday, Saturday. The only really, I think I'm going to do well with ticket sales. I'll do pretty good there. Mm-hmm. But that's typically I'm okay with it because I will match their level of intoxication. But I'm not doing it this time. And so the only good thing about that is I get that nice big hotel room, the Mandarin suite. Yeah. And that's basically like having a green room. That's your hotel room because it's like right there. It's like, 30
I remember I had a birthday there. So I turned whatever age I turned. And then I went to the little store at the hotel and I got two Hostess cupcakes and I did my show. Everybody left. And then I walked up to that room and opened up the cupcakes, and that was my birthday. Me alone in that room eating cupcakes.
When was this? How long ago?
6 years ago, 5 years ago, or something like that.
Yeah. We got to talk about lonely holidays by ourselves on the road, whether it's birthdays or holidays. I mean, I've been there before, buddy. You're not alone in that.
I've had a lot of birthdays on the road. Yeah. And they kind of never. Yeah, I think the cupcake one. No, I never even got like. Surely the staff will make me a cake and I'll sing to me after the show. Never. And then you even do that. Well, today's my birthday, and not even the bartender. Let me give you a birthday. It's nothing. It's just whoever works there. You have to get up to do Rawhide in Dallas tomorrow morning for press, right? Oh, that's right.
Right. Yeah, I've had some lonely birthdays. I've had some the Funny Bone in Dayton, Ohio, which sadly is no longer there. Did you hear about that?
Did that place close?
Someone told me it did. I can't confirm.
I was there.
Maybe it was you.
Well, let's see. They had there was a manager there that was really cool.
Yeah.
He fist bumped you all the time.
Yeah.
You remember that guy?
Yeah. Sort of tall dad bod.
Yeah. Tall dude. He fist bumped
that guy.
So then my last memory of the Dayton Funny Bone was, so I got Bell's palsy when I got Bell's palsy, and that date stayed on the book. So it was maybe about a week and a half I got Bell's palsy, and then that I was there for New Year's Eve. Mm-hmm. So I was like, well, I guess I can do the show, but I was so nervous. Like I'm looking in the hotel room, I'm seeing my eye is just everything's still frozen. I didn't know what to wear, and I'm like, I'll wear a hat. And then I go to do the show, and I get on stage, and I heard somebody in the front row go, "What happened to him?" Oh. So then I got on stage, and this way. So see how my lips are like this?
Yeah.
My lips were worse than this to talk. So I couldn't even talk like that. So I grabbed my cheek and I pulled it back enough so I could talk like this. And then I had to put my elbow on my hand, and I'm just like, I got Bell's palsy over thing, but I decided to come for New Year's. And I did the show, but not that like I'm any type of hero, but the audience could not give a fuck They were just like, somebody even wanted their money back because they couldn't understand me. Not the fact that I didn't cancel the shows.
Yeah.
Right. I just went up and just did it. And then I had one other show afterwards. And I told the feature, I'm like, dude, can you do like 35, 40? I'm going to get up there and I don't know, I might do 10.
Yeah.
I want to go home. This is horrible. I get done. I get off stage. It's New Year's Eve. Everybody's blowing the hats and nobody said, this was so weird. So I'm walking, but I'm literally alone. Nobody said Happy New Year. Nobody, I couldn't even find the manager there to see who's got my check.
Yeah.
And I just went to the green room and I sat down for a second and then I see everybody. So I walk out to where all the staff is having drinks. Nobody make eye contact with me. And I just walked out. I just walked out, just completely went back to my room or whatever. And I think I got a hold of my manager and I was like, cancel everything I have. I'm not doing this ever again. It was sad. Like, it was like you literally felt like the Hunchback where nobody was giving you like, hey, John, a great week. We'll see you here in another time, you know.
That's horrible.
If that place is closed, I'm not totally.
Well, I just, as you were talking, I went to their website and they're closed right now. And they're saying it's because of COVID and all this stuff, but who knows? They're not open right now. But on my birthday there one time, like there's the nicest thing happened. There was some staff that worked there who I'd become friends with. And it was a thing. Anytime I'd go, I always end up hanging out with the same staff years and years and years. And we sort of became friends and they liked it when I was there and blah, blah, blah. And so they knew it was my birthday. And one of them said, hey, I'm going to make you a birthday cake. I'm like, well, don't do that because I'm really, really trying to focus on not eating carbohydrates right now. And that's just going to be all carbs. And I might just take a taste of it. You're going to waste it. Don't make it unless I jokingly said, unless you can make a steak cake. And so the next, my birthday, they come in and they had made a like a Salisbury steak cake tray. It was like a thing, and red peppers and green peppers. They had cut it out to it. Said "Happy Birthday, John" on top of it, and so I got a steak cake on my birthday one year. That was nice.
That's awesome.
And I did eat that. Lonely one was a Thanksgiving one year. And I was on the road somewhere in Kentucky and I had this day off, but it made no sense to me to drive all the way home for Thanksgiving and come all the way back to where I just was. I thought, well, I'm just going to have to be here in this sad hotel by myself on Thanksgiving.
Right.
And I'm like, it kind of got me down because I could see that my friends and my family were all hanging out with each other, having a good time, and they're watching football together. I know it. And I'm like kind of bummed. And at some point I thought I got to go eat. So I get out of the room and I just walk down to the lobby and I see all these old people in the lobby and they're having a Thanksgiving dinner in there for like these old people, like who don't have families. It was like a soup kitchen type thing. And they had this Kentucky basketball game on the big screen. And I'm like, I'm going to go in here and just make a plate and sit down. And I did. And no one said anything. And no one said, oh, you can't be in here. You're too young. Or wait a minute, where's your ID? Or nothing like that. I just went and made a plate. I got like big old thing of turkey and gravy and mashed potatoes. And I sat down at the table next to some people and I just hung out with them. And it was great. And then I went back to my room and was like, I miss my family. But yeah, that was just an odd Thanksgiving one. But yeah, I mean, there's most of the birthdays though. No one gives a crap if you're a dude and you're over 21. Who cares?
The only birthday I remember on stage was at this place in Flint, Michigan called Mr. G's. And it was a dance club where basically all the strippers from the horrible strip clubs in the area went on Sundays. It was just shady as but every comic, if whatever you did a weekend show at some place, you always had to do a Sunday show at this place called Mr. G's.
Okay.
And the guy who would host it would get on stage and he'd ask people to throw up condoms. If you have any condoms, throw them up. And then he'd pull people off the stage and go, okay, what's your first, what's your funniest anal story?
Oh,
and
great.
People would just do it. And the DJ had a parrot on his shoulder. And if you said whatever swear word, the parrot would fly off the shoulder, fly over the dance floor, and then back onto the guy's shoulder. So I would perform there, but my act was never Mr. G's quality. I'm up there. Hey, don't you hate when your mom gives you haircuts? And boy, what's with riding the bus to school? Like, I had no material, and I'm 19 years old performing there. Right. So everyone's 40. I'm 19. So I just it was just, but on my 21st birthday, I happened to be performing there. And the guy hosting says, hey, he can drink now. He can do things. So I went on stage and I'm like, boy, winters in Michigan are weird when you have to wear your snowmobile boots. And I'm doing super clean material. And then the shots start coming. Waitress would just walk up to the stage. And I did the first one. And then I did a second one. And then I tried to wave off the third one. And then immediately got called a pussy. Yeah, I got called just like 300 people just start calling me a pussy. Then the shots got so lined up. It was almost like a conveyor belt. Like you didn't have enough time to do it.
Oh my gosh.
And then the DJ guy comes. Hey, he's behind 5 or 6 shots.
Oh,
let's give him time to do it. And then I would do it and do it and do it. And people were cheering like crazy. And then, you know how it takes a little bit of time to get drunk. I was lit. I didn't even know how. But then after the whole night, a couple older comics, everyone, whatever. And then everyone just filed out and left. And I just remember being in the parking lot, this super unsafe area, just crazy drunk. And this is kind of when you thought about driving drunk.
Yeah.
Like this is pre Dare or definitely not Uber. So I just had to sit in my car. I slept in my car and I think I puked a couple times, but I was too afraid to drive anywhere. But I also thought I was going to be killed in the parking lot of this
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. And then when you woke up the next morning, where you were in the parking lot, did you?
I don't even know if I slept. I was too afraid of somebody killing me. And then I just got up and then I drove home and then, had the DTs where I was just shaking the whole way. Man. I'm like, this is horrible.
Have you done shows in Alaska?
100 years ago. I did a couple. I think
everyone. Yeah. Right. Okay. Same guys did a little run of shows up there. I think I forgot their names, but good guys. Fairbanks, Anchorage. There's a place called the North Pole. Yeah. It's a town in Alaska called the North Pole.
Yeah.
And they do comedy there at some bar. And, their whole town is like, what we do is we, all these letters that get mailed to Santa with no address, if they just say the North Pole, they end up here. And the town people answer them. They actually reply back and send it back to the kids as Santa. So I thought that was a cool thing. And so I'm thinking these are friendly, good, family-oriented, church-going people. This will be great. And I have bits in my act where I say the drunkest state in America is Louisiana. And I still kind of think it. unless we're talking about Alaska, because Alaska's right there with them. Everyone in Alaska is hiding from the police. So I remember doing a comedy at this place called a North Pole, and this waitress or waiter saying like, "Hey, you like shots? Because the crowd, if they like you, they'll buy you shots. Is it cool if we bring one to the stage?" And I'm like, yeah, I love shots. No big deal. and sure enough, 10 minutes in, here comes a shot. I'm like, all right, congrats, thank you, appreciate that. Who did this? Oh, thanks, dude. Woo! 5 minutes later, bam, and now it's a thing, right? I don't remember how the show ended. I don't remember how I got home. I don't remember who paid me. But I do remember waking up in my hotel room around the toilet, just waking up, and I had puked, but there was a check in my back pocket, and I don't know how any of that happened. I don't know how much time I did. Blacked out on stage, and to this day I don't remember. But I did okay because no one got mad.
Yeah. I've seen when you see guys who drink when they're on stage who get really drunk.
Yeah.
Somehow in the brain, they still think they're killing.
Yeah.
It's
and they're slurring. It's sad to watch.
Horrible. Really. And they just kind of get, stuck.
Especially if the crowd is there to see that guy who's kind of good at it. Now, if the crowd doesn't care and there's 50 people and they're just drunk and you're like, well, I got to match these people, that one I could accept. But yeah, imagine going to see like, I don't know, Bill Burr in a sold out arena and he's just sloshing around. That's embarrassing. You don't want to do that. So I get that. Dude, this is great. What about Netflix? Have you watched anything good lately?
I've watched a couple things. I just keep bouncing around. I've not seen that Squid Squad thing that I kind of want to watch.
I haven't seen it either.
Yeah, I have a corporate event I have to fly to in California. So it's going to take up most of my week, but then I'll be back for the weekend and I might see it. Who have I watched? I watched a couple comedian specials. Just
you watch Chapelle?
I watched people who I don't know. Watched pretty much all of Chapelle's.
Okay. Shall we talk about it?
Yeah.
Okay. I have only made it through the first half, and I only stopped because I had to do something else. And I fully intend on watching the rest of it whenever we're done here. So far, so good. Chapelle being Chapelle, right? Like he totally pushes buttons, walks the line, but nothing he says I disagree with.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with him at all. But I do know there are probably some people who are all butthurt about some of Chapelle's comments. There's one bit at the very beginning where how did this start? I forgot how he started, but he talks about getting molested by a priest. And I don't know if that was true or if that was just him turning molestation on its head, because even though he was the kid, he liked it.
Right.
So I don't know if he just did that to turn it upside down, or did that actually happen? I don't know. No one's probably talking about that because I don't know if it's a joke or not. But then he talked about there's some rapper named DaBaby.
Uh-huh.
Do you know who DaBaby is?
I do not know who DaBaby. Do not know. I'm more on the New Kids on the Block, Rick Ashley, Salt and Pepper. I just bought tickets to go see all of them.
Yeah. I like DaBaby Face. Remember DaBaby Face? I like DaBaby Face.
Your rent. Yeah.
I like
you got that whip-a-beer, baby. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh no, I was thinking of Tony. But yeah, I don't know DaBaby or the toddler or the adults. but apparently DaBaby said something, homophobic or anti-gay and got in trouble for it or something. So, and the only reason I know this because Chapelle brought it up.
Right.
And I'm thinking, well, maybe we got to go see what that is. Do you remember this bit that Chapelle was talking about?
I remember him talking about it, but I don't know the reference.
Well, the point he was making was the point that Chapelle was making was that DaBaby actually shot. I don't know if he killed, but he shot or maybe killed a guy in North Carolina.
Right.
And it did not affect his career negatively at all. He says a couple of bad things that almost ruined his career. So that was his point. Is like this guy actually killed a guy, but his words are what got him in trouble. So that's the kind of messed up world that we're living in that Chapelle was trying to make his point. But I thought, well, now I got to go look up DaBaby.
Yeah, I don't even know what it
I want to see what he said.
Yeah.
So the Alan Jackson, do we happen to have a clip of DaBaby saying the bad words on the stage? Are you in here, the Alan Jackson?
He left.
Oh, here we go. All right, let's watch this.
Game Homo fans rolling out rant response video.
You show up today with HIV, AIDS, any of them deadly sexually transmitted diseases that'll make you die in 2-3 weeks. Put a cell phone light in the air. Lady, if your pussy smell like water, put a cell phone light in the air. Fellas, lights up. Fellas, if you ain't sucking nigga dick in the parking lot, put your cell phone lights in the air.
Let's be real about this shit.
Keep it fucking real.
Some of y'all niggas suspect as a motherfucker. Let's be real.
Okay, that's good. Okay, what are your initial thoughts? John Heffron, I'll let you go first.
My initial thoughts was
Could you understand that?
Sub captions would have helped a little. Because I just I'm just old, so I think everybody younger than me never moved them out. They don't know what
yeah, it's a lot of they're on monodrone and stuff.
Yeah, so I don't know what he said. Something about if a woman's
I can tell you
vagina tastes like water,
yeah,
you got to do something to it.
I wonder if that's a good thing.
Right? Like water wouldn't be the worst thing.
Yeah, water is there's no taste at all. That's not bad. So, I'm okay with no taste.
But then what are you not supposed to do if you
Well, okay, he started off saying well, let's just play it again real quick, Alan. It's real short.
And I opened my shows wrong.
Let's just well, we got to take our shirts off. But go ahead, Alan. Let's see what
you didn't show up today with HIV, AIDS, any of them deadly sexually transmitted diseases that'll make you die.
Okay, pause it.
Cell phone light in the air. Lady.
Okay, right there he said,
if
you don't have any AIDS or HIV or any sexually transmitted diseases, put your cell phone up and light it up. Put your cell phone light up. So he's saying he wants these people to like acknowledge him by putting his cell phone in the air and turning the flashlight on.
Okay.
I think that's what's happening so far. Okay, let's hit the next one.
Sexually transmitted diseases that'll make you die in 2-3 weeks. Put a cell phone light in the air. Lady, if your pussy smell like water, put a cell phone light in the air.
Oh, we got froze. Oh yeah, that one was
Lights up.
Fellas, if you ain't sucking nigga dick in the parking lot, put your cell phone lights in the air.
Let's be real about this shit.
Okay, I like the other guy going, let's be real about this. Like he's got a hype guy over there off the stage. So what I'm gathering is him saying, if you don't have sexually transmitted HIV or AIDS that will kill you in 2 to 3 weeks, put your cell phone light up. Ladies, if your pussy tastes like water, put your cell phone lights up. And if you N-words are out there sucking dick in the parking lot, put your cell phone light up. So far, he's not saying if it's good or bad. He's just saying put your cell phone light up. You know what I mean? I would have used that argument if I was DaBaby's the lawyer.
Yeah. Okay.
Thoughts.
what else is he? What then? What happens?
That's the whole thing where he got in trouble. He got in trouble for that, for saying if you the HIV AIDS suck a dick, if your pussy tastes like water. That's where he got in trouble. That's weird to me because he actually didn't say I hate this and I'm against it. All he said was put your cell phone light up. You know what I mean? There's a loophole in there he could have got out of, but I think he went out and apologized, and that probably made it worse.
I mean, he could have just went on forever. If you're not a known carrier of HPV because you're male and you can't get tested, put your up there. There's a lot.
Here we go. I was going to put my cell phone light up, John. I don't know what, I guess he was just saying he's not down with that, which is not in that community. Who cares? I don't think it's a big issue, but apparently it was. And it's so much that Dave Chapelle talked about it. The only point Chapelle was making was it's funny to him how you can shoot and kill a guy at a Walmart and not get in trouble as much as you are saying put your cell phone light up if you don't S on some D.
Dude,
I mean, look, we're not going to see DaBaby because he's a philosopher or he's a policy maker. We're not electing him in any sort of government position. All right. So what do we expect out of our DaBaby to rappers? I'm saying it's whatever.
I don't know what happens with comedy where, right, everybody's going to be pissed at something.
Mm-hmm.
No. Like I had a bit that's 100 years old. That it was about my brother, me getting my brother in trouble, or I would choke him, but he'd get me in trouble no matter what I was doing to him. I could be holding on to his ankle and he would just yell, "I can't breathe." And then the joke is my dad wouldn't play Columbo and he would just ground the person next to the person who said they can't breathe, even though we weren't choking them.
Right.
So then I had on some of my social people saying that I was racist because I can't breathe is associated with Eric Gardner and all that.
George Floyd too.
I'm like, if I went in a time machine and recorded the bit 10 years before that happened,
right?
Recorded the bit. You can't. The new phrase happens. I don't. You do the bit anymore because that's what people associate it with.
That sucks, dude.
But when I was doing it, it was just me and my brother. That was a thing. And then
is there a part of you that makes you want to do it even more now?
Dude, I had T-shirts made that said "I can't breathe." Like it was such a popular bit. And then when all that stuff came out, I'm like, I'm not selling "I can't breathe" shirt.
Wait, do you have anywhere nearby you an old "I can't breathe" T-shirt?
No, they're downstairs, but I do have them.
Oh,
I had a whole pack.
MG. I want one of them T-shirts. That's hilarious. I mean, think about all the things that we've had to stop doing or stop talking about because a new phrase happened. Like, did you know this was racist?
The OK sign. Yeah.
Did you know that?
Yeah, I saw. That's
white
special.
White power.
Yeah, if
apparently.
You Google me on my images, one of the first pictures you'll see is me doing the big OK sign.
Oh, that's right.
At the camera.
That. Yeah.
And that's from a bit where I'm in a car and I turn my car on after it's already been on and I'm waving to everybody who would be looking at me. And I go, "I'm okay."
Okay.
And I do the okay, but that's my
Isn't that stupid?
And then I had a bit where how my dad came home once and walked through the hallway and punched holes in every wall or in every door. He's like, "If I come home and see a bike in the driveway, that's your ass." Hole in the wall, door. Thermostat stays at 68. Hole in the door. If you don't open a can of pop, you're gonna finish it. Hole in the door. And then the joke is something, I don't even do it, so I don't remember it. something about when he turned 70, he told us all that he had plans on replacing all those doors in that hallway that following weekend, that it was strictly just to show a force is why he did it. He knew he was going to replace those doors. So he's just being a 30-year-old guy and punching holes because he knew they were going to be replaced. Boy, I got a whole thing from a couple people about that's abuse. And the whole joke was you got to freak out your kids when they're young. You got to flip over a coffee table for no reason when they're 2 or 3. So they just mentally have that in their subconscious that you can kind of be crazy.
Wow.
So many people said that was child abuse. My dad was a shit dad for scaring us like that. And just, how dare it?
So, I mean, imagine the kind of crap that we get on this level. And now imagine what Chappelle's getting, right? But he's got so much FU money. It doesn't matter. He could F himself.
My favorite line he said in there, he goes, you don't get in a fight with or an argument with the trans community because they make up words to argue with you. And then he had a couple phrases that they made up for women were against da-da-da-da. And then he made reference to women are pissed at trans, like black people are pissed at blackface because women think these men are just imitating them. And that's offensive.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
He just goes off that it's science. You're born a man or a woman.
Mm-hmm. I love it. I can't wait to watch the rest of it. Dave Chapelle does a move, which I think is brilliant, by the way. When he does something that's kind of like gets a big laugh or it's a shocker, or he'll take the microphone and hit his leg with it. Good luck. That.
Yeah.
And then Chris Rock invented the drop the mic move. Dave Chapelle gave us hit the mic on your leg move.
Yeah.
Both make a sound and both sort of add to the moment.
And what it is it's conditioning to teach you when the laugh is. There's a lot of comics that do that. Ron White, every time he takes a sip of his drink is usually when the punchline's happening.
Yeah, he'll be talking as it gets up to here, and then he'll say the punchline right about here.
And then drink, people know, okay, that's a cue to laugh. I know comics that take the mic and drop it down, like just I know comics that grab the mic stand and pound it every time there's a laugh. It's amazing how fast a crowd will get taught. This is when you laugh, is when this thing happens. They're easily manipulated.
Do you know? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Crowds are easily manipulated that way.
Yeah. They don't know it, which is the definition of manipulation. There's a comedian named Ronnie Bullard who used to do a thing. You know Ronnie Bullard?
I remember him being a dick to me when I was early in my 20s. I don't remember what. I remember his headshot, and I just remember that guy from that headshot got shitty with me. I don't even remember where, but I've carried that with me for 30 years.
Well, he's had that reputation. It wasn't just you. He was kind of
a long time ago. I don't even remember.
He's kind of douchey to a lot of people. And it's probably coming back around to bite him in the butt now. It's not really, I don't know what he does anymore, but I remember a couple things about him. He used to do a thing, conditioning, where he would do a joke, and at the end of it, he would go like that. Like it's he's not really laughing at himself, but he's kind of wheezing. So if the punchline was, and I fought a lesbian chick, he'd be like, and I fought a lesbian chick like that. And so that just was at the end of every punchline. And I remember him saying something snarky to me, and I thought, like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to record your set. I'm going to give you the highlights on a CD for you. And it would just have been like just that, because to me, that's the part that got the laugh. wasn't what he was saying. It was the fact that he was making this stupid wheezing laugh noise at the end of his dumb punchlines. But I remember staying with him in a condo somewhere. Maybe this was like in Wichita. And I remember him saying, this is when the condo had a home phone. Okay.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. That's how old this was.
Right.
I remember him saying to me as I'm sitting in the living room doing something, he goes, hey, if this phone rings and it's my wife, do not tell her I went to the casino or the dog track. Just make up something else. And I'm like, got it. Can't wait to tell her you're at the dog track, dude. Luckily for him, the phone didn't ring. But yeah, he had a problem with booze, went off the rails. But
there's that whole concept might even be for another podcast. Tammy Pescatelli has some stories where if back in the day, the comedy clubs didn't put you up in a hotel, they bought a condo, and then that was called the comedy condo, and all the acts for that week had to share the condo. So the headliner would get the bedroom that maybe had a bathroom in it, and then if you were emceeing, maybe there's a full-out couch. Mm-hmm. If you're featuring, you got a room, but you're kind of forced to live with all these people. And Pescatelli would tell a story. She'd go in that room, lock it, and then get forks or knives from the kitchen and sleep with it in her hand, because the headliner would get a little drunk or off the rails, and then know that there's a girl on the other side of that door and would get a little aggressive to open that door. I was I was tail end of a lot of that, but there was all these old timer comedians that were notorious for like jizzing into the shampoo bottles.
Yeah.
Like just doing that. So you're just paranoid. Like this Ollie Joe Prater guy would always do stuff like that. And you were just afraid to, never use mayonnaise, like anything that was in there.
John Fox.
And there was always like hidden porn. Like if you just open up a drawer, you'd find some really bad VHS tape.
Yeah.
That was just that somebody left.
Yeah. I always enjoyed when I found a magazine under the mattress. I'm like, oh, that was considerate. Who did that? Who was the nice young man that passed this on for me?
I was in like San Antonio or someplace at the condo, and 4 people came in through the front door. I'm just watching TV in the middle of the day. 4 just people had keys, came in, and they're like, oh, are you you working there this week? I'm like, yeah. They go, oh, that's cool. Hope you have a good shows. And then got a mini step ladder and then went up on top of the shelving and came down with a huge bag of pills. I don't know what they were, just a huge bag of pills. And then they put the thing where like, okay, we'll get you. And then you just walked out of the room. Yeah.
No, that's kind of like the character Laszlo from Real Genius, who like would go to the closet, and you're like, why is he? The strange man just comes walking out of the closet and walks across the room, and then it turns out he lived downstairs, like underneath the house and the pipes. But similar thing. We got to wrap this one up, but maybe I should tease it.
Okay,
tease this story. Maybe next episode we start with this.
Okay.
Comedy condo. Not going to say where. It was a combination lock where people, if you knew the combination, you could get in. Right? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It's like a keypad.
Yeah.
So that means everyone who's ever stayed there can get in anytime they want.
Yeah.
Hanging out in the living room. My girlfriend at the time was on the way there. And I'm just sitting in the living room. Another girl comes walking in and propositions me. And I'll leave it there for next week as what happened. A proposition was made, and the clock was running.
From one of those places, I got scabies from one. Came
Is that a
home.
real thing? I thought that was a made up kid word.
No, you got they're bugs that dig into your armpits and stay, and then they lay eggs. And so you just get these bumps on all your hairy, warm places.
Are scabies also known as chiggers?
Don't know.
I hit the CH really hard.
Yeah, I don't know. But if scabies were gross.
Wow.
All right, the whole show I've been looking at my face. I weigh more than I've ever weighed in my entire life, and I don't know what to do.
Is the girdle's not working?
I got rid of my stomach. It's insane. It blew up the other day where I couldn't even see my feet.
Oh man!
Like I eat some cheese, like you got, but I've never weighed what I weigh now. I should be 25 pounds lighter. I'm starting to really feel agey. I don't know.
Well, move around, eat less.
I think I'm just going to starve myself. I think that the diet I'm going to go on is I have one meal a day.
Yeah, intermittent fasting. It's got a fancy
one
name
meal.
now. Yeah.
All right.
Well, thanks, John. I had a good time. You're going to be somewhere. I'm going to be in Jacksonville, Florida this weekend. Come see me at the Comedy Zone. Don't buy me a drink.
Don't throw wine.
Don't throw wine. Just come to the show and laugh real hard and say hello. And then Halloween's around the corner. You can go to heffronandreep.com. Check out old episodes at heffronandreep.com. You can be a Patreon supporter. You can help us keep the lights on here at the Heffron and Reep Show. You can give us $1. You can give us $100. Whatever you want. Make it up. heffronandreep.com. Click on Patreon support. Our tour schedules are there. And write us a nice iTunes review or Apple Podcast review, Heffron and Reep. Yes, John.
And also feel free, if you're bouncing around Facebook and you run across somebody's famous post, feel free to start going, hey, at John Heffron, hey, at Jon Reep. You guys were just talking about this.
Yeah.
Starting to see it more and more.
Yeah.
Now me and John used to do it, but I say we open it up to everybody.
That's even better. That's a better idea. Have our listeners go at either one of us.
Yeah.
Then that means we have to weigh in.
When we'll respond any way we want. But yeah, I'm noticing pop up a lot. All right, man. That is it for us. Right?
That's it, baby.
All right.
DaBaby. Good times. We'll see you next episode of Heffron and Reep. This is Jon Reep saying, bicycle.
Since you love the Heffron and Reep Show, please go to iTunes and let them know. Rank the show and leave a comment. We don't care what you write, you know. They, Heffron and Reep, have low self-esteem. So please validate them by ranking them and making them seen. So no matter what you do,